Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to Moo Australia's Daily Wrap, where we touch on the key aspects of overnight trading and look at the issues that could be driving trading in the Asia-Pacific region today. Overnight, we saw a very calm trading session through Europe, but data released in the US upset the apple cart. We saw higher than expected inflation and weaker than expected jobs numbers. And that combination of weaker economic growth and less likelihood of interest rate cuts really seemed to rattle investor nerves. We saw selling across the board with all three of the major indices falling in overnight trading by between 0.5% and 1%, and pressure across most sectors. Naturally, with interest rate fears driving the investor action in overnight trading, we saw those sectors that are particularly sensitive to interest rates hit hard. And you can see in this chart of Wells Fargo that finance stocks were among the most affected. The concern that the interest rates might not be cut next week by the Federal Reserve really seemed to strike home in the finance sector, and further pressure after that big lift that came from the US election. We saw similarly a hit in UnitedHealth. Now, the healthcare sector, of course, is considered a defensive sector. It is quite sensitive to interest rates, and add to that the fact that the CEO of UnitedHealth was assassinated last week. We're seeing ongoing pressure on the share price and another more than 3% fall in UnitedHealth to take it down more than 15% since the CEO was killed. So very clearly sentiment running against UnitedHealth and those interest rate concerns just adding weight to the selling that we're seeing. Futures markets indicate that we'll see a fall of between 0.5% and 1% for most of the markets across the region in trading today. That, of course, doesn't change the overall outlook and the positive growth scenario that we're pricing for 2025. But of course, it's also expected that investors will be cautious ahead of next week's Federal Reserve meeting and the potential for another cut in US interest rates.